Thank you, Mr. President. Here we are at the end of another legislative session, at the end of the 100th legislature, a landmark achievement that I'm sure at its start we were all excited about, anticipating a monumental 2-year period. And monumental it has been. A monumental failure in addressing the needs of the public requiring our help. Monumental in this body's failure to rise to the challenge that the COVID-19 global pandemic has presented. Monumental in this body's failure to rise to the challenge of adequately acknowledging and addressing issues of racial inequity and injustice. And monumental in this body's failure to rise to the occasion of addressing the growing threats, real examples, and clear and present danger of increased hatred, extremism, white supremacy, and the rise of neo-Confederate actions and attitudes. Now, I acknowledge that during the 100th legislature, we have done some good things and passed some important public policy, including tonight. But it's in these three areas, three important areas, that we have failed spectacularly. We have had an opportunity, multiple opportunities, to address, confront, and improve in these areas, and sadly, we've squandered them. As the state, country, and world watch for us to be leaders in these crucial areas, as a collective body, we have not led. And for those of us who've been working on these issues, placing a necessary spotlight upon them, calling out injustice when and where it needs admonishing and correcting, but have been ignored or silenced, mocked for being theatrical, our traumas reduced to mere politics, I say the indifferent and dismissive attitudes regarding these issues must end with the 100th legislature. Soon, we'll all go off to be with our loved ones, whether in person or virtually, to celebrate and observe the year-end holidays. Hanukkah ended today. The winter solstice is on Monday. Christmas and Kwanzaa are at the end of next week. And the dawn of a new year is at the end of the month. And despite the differences in these celebrations and observances, they all share being centered in light and hope and renewal. And it's my hope, my sincerest hope, that in the new year and in the 101st legislature that commences next month, that we will resolve to be resolute and intentional in rising to the occasion of addressing these issues that remain unfinished business. When we reconvene, we must start the next 100 legislatures with sound public health policy, especially as it relates to COVID, but also by being intentionally forward-focused and preventative in such a way that there's a legislative framework in place for the next pandemic, which hopefully won't occur until we're all long gone and being eulogized by members we'll never know. When we reconvene with the 101st legislature, we must start the next 100 legislatures by addressing systemic racism and eradicating its institutional and systemic legacies, ghosts, and vapors. We must be firm and intentional in not allowing or tolerating symbols of hate, extremism, or white supremacy in any form in this body or building. It's imperative for us now to deconstruct the politics and policies that have led us to this period of compounded crises. We must undo the failures of the 100th and chart a new path forward. We must not just decolonize our minds, but our policies, and rise to the occasion of rectifying our unfinished business and bending the moral arc of our policies and practices towards justice. History has its eyes on us. May the collective spirit of this season fill us with light and hope, and resolve for a new year and a 101st legislature.